Hey guys, Elaine here, and I just wanted to introduce this video because this is what I'm going to call the setup. This is a video that I'm going to be referencing in the majority of my mobility exercise videos because it is super important that we work on these nice neutral postures before we get into the mobility exercises. So I'm going to break this down into 3 different parts. So it's going to be about spine first, and then focus on the lower half, and then the upper half. So when we talk about setting up, we really want to make sure that our spine is nice and neutral. Now, how we focus on getting our spine nice and neutral is just standing how you normally would stand. Now, some people have that super lordotic posture, which is fine. Some people have a little bit of this rounded forward position, that's fine as well. And some people kind of hang out with their hips like this. So, neutral spine here is all about standing up nice and tall. Keep your natural curvatures of your spine. Draw in your lower abdominals. Now, how to do that is you can involve a Kegel exercise. Now, this sounds gross, but what you're going to do is you're going to feel like you're urinating and you just need to stop the flow of urine mid-flow. That itself is the pelvic floor, or kind of performing a Kegel, and that's going to help you brace your lower abdominals. So think about kind of pulling that belly button towards your spine, pull in those pelvic floor muscles. Think about urinating, stopping the flow of urine mid-flow. That's the lower half. And then you want to keep the rib cage nice and down as well. What we see is when people tighten this area, they allow that rib cage to flare up, and that is a crucial mistake. So let's go over that again. So belly button towards your spine, pull in a Kegel, keep that rib cage down, and then you're going to think about lifting the breastbone, but without the rib cage coming along. So belly button, pelvic floor, rib cage down, lift the breastbone, and then think about lifting the back of the head. Now, a lot of people are going to make the mistake of shearing the head back, and what that does is it allows the rib cage to flare out, and you've lost your neutral spine. So belly button towards your back, pull in the Kegel, rib cage down, breastbone up. Think about your nodding your head, just the first 10% of a head nod, yes. So you want to kind of nod that head into position. Okay, so follow that again. Belly button towards your spine, Kegel, rib cage down, breastbone up, back of the head up like you're nodding your head into position. Now that itself is a neutral spine. Now we're going to focus on the lower half. Now you got to get into that nice neutral spinal position. So belly button in, Kegel, rib cage down, breastbone up, back of the head up. And then what you're going to really feel like you're doing is kind of screwing your heels into the ground. Now if you have trouble doing this, you can place your hands kind of right here on the sides of your buttocks, kind of where it divots in. And you really want that rotation of your legs and your hip to come from your hips and kind of this area right here. So you want to feel everything kind of screw into position. So notice how you can kind of see my femurs here rotate outwards. My feet aren't moving, my ankles are just kind of following what my hips are doing. So you want to screw those guys in, create that torque force. And then we're going to work on the upper half. So let's put that all together. So that's step 1 and 2 combined. Belly button towards your spine, Kegel, rib cage down, breastbone up, back of the head up, and then work on screwing in those heels, create that external rotation torque force for the legs. Grip the insides of your shoe a little bit as well to help create that force. Let's go over that again. So belly button towards your spine, Kegel, rib cage down, breastbone up, back of the head up, screw those heels into the ground, grip the insides of your shoe, and then we're going to add the upper half. So just as important as it is to create that external rotation force in the lower half, just as important for the upper half, okay? So belly button in, Kegel, rib cage down, breastbone up, back of the head up, screw those heels into the ground, grip the insides of your shoe, and now you're going to create that same amount of external force at the upper half. You're going to think about rotating those shoulder blades back, and then allowing the head of the humerus to rotate in. And what you should see is your hands go from kind of this position, which is internal rotation, and then the thumbs kind of rotate outwards. So let's go over that again. Belly button towards the spine, Kegel, rib cage down, breastbone up, back of the head up, screw those heels in, grip the insides of your shoe a little bit, shoulder blades up and back, rotate those hands in. There you go. So all these external rotation forces for the lower half and the upper half combined with the spine is going to help protect all of our joints for when we start moving, whether that be squatting, jumping, doing push-ups, running, going from sitting to standing, anything general like that where we're just learning to move. It is so important to go through kind of the stepwise process just to make sure that there's less potential for breakdown when you do start moving. So let's go over that again. Belly button towards the spine, Kegel, ribcage down, breastbone up, back of the head up, screw those heels into the ground, lock those shoulder blades back, rotate those arms in as well. That is your setup, and that is your neutral position. Now I would like for people to do that maybe every hour on the hour while they're at work. Practice doing that before you start lifting. Maybe in between, like on commercial breaks when you're watching TV. Now this is a movement that is pretty challenging to hold for long periods of time, and that's okay. But the more that you go through that stepwise process throughout your day, maybe before you set up for lifts, the easier it'll become, the less potential for breakdown. Don't try to hold these for multiple hours on end. Those muscles will fatigue out, and that's to be expected. But just try to do these frequently throughout your day. So we're trying to kind of just get into these nice neutral positions, protect your joints, just make sure that your muscles are firing as efficiently as possible to help prevent any further potential for breakdown in any type of movement, whether it be, cleaning or setting up for, like a 225-pound squat clean. Nothing really changes. Everything needs to start from the setup. Okay, so let's review that one more time here. Belly button towards your spine, pelvic floor the Kegel, rib cage down, breastbone up, back of the head up, that little 10% of the head nod, yes. Screw those heels into the ground, grip the insides of your shoes, shoulder blades back, and then you want to rotate those arms into that external position so that's nice and neutral. So follow along one more time here. Belly button towards your spine, Kegel, ribcage down, breastbone up, back of the head up, rotate the lower half, rotate the upper half. That is your setup, and I will be referencing this video multiple times through all my upcoming videos of all of our mobility exercises. This is step one, needs to happen, setup. Okay, bye.